Hello, Paul Wilkinson here. This is a video exploring the Associated Board Jazz Grades, a part of the test they call the Quick Study, we could say sight reading. This is where you get a 2-bar example, or depending what grade. I'm going to look at, I think, grade 2 today. And then you have this example. The student has to quickly have a look at it, play through it 2 or 3 times, and then play that example, and then respond to that example. If you like, they quote the question and they like the answer, or they start the story and you finish off the story. So I just thought it'd be nice. People are always asking on the Associated Board videos if I could use some quick tips about sight reading and quick study. So I thought this would be a nice video that could just maybe help you, particularly if you're a piano teacher yourself, whether it be classical sight reading or jazz sight reading. So at this early grades, we're dealing really with just the right hand, although we do have a chord symbol. So we have this melody. I'm going to use this example. First thing to note is, of course, it's swung, so it's not, it's swung. And the timing is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 2. So let's just wipe that out now that the students never seen that before and they don't know that. So first of all, with some top tips, first of all, you need to see what key it's in. In this case, we've got 1 flat, so you need to watch out for B flat. Next thing you need to do is find the first note. What does it start on? Have a look at the trajectory of the melody. Does it start on this note and go downwards, descending on the piano, or does it start on this note and go upwards on the piano? So deciding on this one is all upwards from F, so now I can put my thumb on the F. If it was from F going down to D and back to A, then I might put my 3rd finger on it. But because it starts, I can see think of it like this, I can see the floor and it's all above from the floor like that. It's not like a suspended ceiling where there's some notes below and above. It's from the ground up. So I'm going to put my thumb on that. Now, the next thing is I'm going to take all the notes. Now, I'm borrowing a technique here from the great piano teacher called Abby Whiteside. I'm going to take all the notes. So I'm going to find all the notes of the first bar. Okay, I found them all. And I'm just going to block them. This is a technique that she used and that Abby Whiteside used. And so basically, I'm just going to play all of them. So they're all the notes that are used in the first bar. So I brought them all in to the beginning of the bar so I can play them. Now when they do this, it reveals to the student the shape of the hand. It also reveals that I'm not using that B flat. It doesn't get used. If I go to the next bar, there's only 2 notes. Let's block them, bring them back. We've got the G and the A. So now this is all training you can do preparing for the quick study. So now I can go. And I'm going to try and do that in time. So, and I'm mindful of the melody. Now I might try and do those twice in the bar, those blocking. 1, 2. Each time I'm creating a pulse, a feeling of it. So that's called blocking. Very useful. Whichever one of these sight reading you do, if you do the harder ones, grade 4 and 5, or if you're a classical pianist, bring all the notes that you would normally play, block them. Suddenly the student starts to see the notes. And then you could go, now you could block that and then be like, all right, okay, that's it. That's what I'm dealing with. It's viewing the notes from a different architecture of thinking, which is a revelation actually. The students see which notes they play, which notes they don't. So okay, now we've got that. Now I'm going to do something called pulsing, which again is another great Abby Whiteside technique. I'm just going to play the first note of the bar. So A. Okay, so now I'm going to play just the first 2 notes of the first bar, but only the first note of bar 2. Okay, now I'm going to play 3 notes. Now I'm going to play 2 notes in the bar 2, and I'll play 4 notes in bar 1. So you can see, you get the idea where this is going. Then you add more in, it's additive. So then what was at first really quite challenging to play becomes much easier because you've trained yourself to find these map references, these points that you can come in on. You could also, going back a stage, you could just block it in time. So you could play the rhythm of this, but blocked on the notes. So that was. But I'm just blocking the notes. So getting a sense of the time, and then that will really bring the student towards learning the melody. So there's a few tips on producing a good sight read. Really, working towards it, it takes time. It's not an easy thing at first, but these little revelations, just getting the student just to play a couple of notes at first. They don't have to play all the notes, but I would really aim for time. There is nothing worse than, you know, this kind of sort of sluggish attempt at it. Better to play some wrong notes and pull through it. Oops. You know, a lot of wrong notes there. But there was a feeling musically that was in time. You felt the groove. It was a feeling. So then it says F6. Well, an F6 is F, A, C, and then a D on top like that. But this is early grade. You don't have to play the left hand, but you might just want to play the bass. F. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and I'm just playing the bass F there. You might want to play just the F triad. You might want to do the F6. 6 chords are good. The root is F, 6 note higher is a D. Add the D into the F chord. Okay? But you don't have to, at these early grades, you can just play the right hand. So then you have to respond to that. So they start this story and you have to continue the story. So you might go. Again, I stayed in the pentatonic area. I stayed over the notes. I didn't deviate too much from the notes. What we got in the introduction, we've got that opening. So I could explore that here. There, I'm just taking that opening rhythm. Near the end, we've got, so I could use that. Move that around. I could go, they recommend going lower down, so not having the F as the floor, but having this floating ceiling where you can, or floating floor should we say, where you can just go underneath and come back. So that could be a little different. I'll go below. And there I nearly stole the entirety of that rhythm that was played before, just a different set of pitches. So there are a few tips for improving your sight reading. So blocking, finding all the notes, pushing them together. Outlining, where you kind of find first notes. Abby Whiteside would also call that she'd use the same words, outlining and pulsing. You know, just. You could even, as a teacher, play that and get the pianist, your student, to just go. You could get them to just play on the one of each bar so that they can feel it, because it is, you know, rhythmically it is a feeling, and it's sublime when you do feel that music groove together like that. So there are a few tips for the associated board sight reading. That was example number 6 from grade 2. Subscribe for more videos like this. I've done a lot of videos about the associated board, jazz exams and various other topics, some easy and some more complicated. You know, the teacher arrives when the student's ready, so some of them might be too hard and some of them might be too easy, but have a look through the videos anyway. Thanks, and subscribe for more. Bye for now.